Welcome back, my friend. I'm truly grateful to have you here as we continue this journey together, step by step, day by day. Today, I want to talk about something that so many of us struggle with, something that's close to my heart as well. Why does finding your passion feel so hard? Let me ask you this. Have you ever stopped and wondered, why don't I feel that spark? Why can't I find that one thing that lights me up? You're not alone in this. Maybe you've checked off the boxes, a good job, a steady routine, maybe even some personal achievements. But there's still that question that keeps coming back. Is this really all there is? Shouldn't I feel more alive, more driven? If that hits home, then you're in the right place. And before we dive in any deeper, take a moment to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on the conversations we're having here. We're building a community, a space to figure these things out together, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. Now, let's get real for a second. Passion isn't some magical thing that just falls into our laps one day. It's not always obvious or easy to find. Sometimes it feels like we're chasing something that's always just out of reach. But here's the truth. Passion is something you create. It's something you nurture step by step as you get closer to what truly moves you. In this video, I'm going to share with you why it might feel so hard to find your passion and how you can start shifting that. By the end, I promise you'll have a clearer path forward, a way to start rediscovering what truly matters to you. And I'm here with you every step of the way. Let's go. Why is finding your passion so hard? Finding your passion can sometimes feel like an impossible task. It's that elusive thing everyone talks about, but when you look for it yourself, it always seems just out of reach. Like chasing a shadow, you're close enough to see it, but no matter how fast you run, it never stays still long enough for you to catch it. Why does something so central to a fulfilled life feel like it's constantly slipping through your fingers? We live in a world where we're told that passion should be the guiding force behind everything we do. But nobody really tells you how to find it, do they? We're bombarded with this idea that passion is something you should already know about yourself, like it's a given that you're born knowing what you're supposed to love and chase for the rest of your life. And when you don't feel that clarity, when you don't wake up with that burning fire inside of you, it can feel like you're broken, like something's wrong with you, like you're the odd one out, lost in a sea of people who seem to have it all figured out. But here's the truth that no one tells you. Passion isn't found, it's built. It's not some lightning bolt of inspiration that strikes out of nowhere, leaving you with all the answers. No, passion is something you cultivate over time. It's something you develop through experiences, through exploration, and through embracing discomfort. The idea that you'll wake up one day knowing exactly what sets your soul on fire is a myth. And chasing that myth? That's why so many of us feel stuck, frustrated, and unfulfilled. You see, passion is not a fixed point on a map. It's not a destination that you arrive at once and for all. It evolves. It changes as you change. What you might feel passionate about today could shift tomorrow, and that's okay. Life is fluid, and your passion is too. The mistake we often make is believing that once we find our passion, everything else will fall into place. That from then on, life will be effortless. But the reality is, passion requires work. It requires resilience. You'll still have to push through hard days. You'll still face moments of doubt. There will be times when it feels like the passion you've worked so hard to build is slipping away, and you'll have to fight to get it back. And sometimes that's where we go wrong. We expect passion to be easy. We expect it to feel good all the time. But true passion isn't about feeling good, it's about feeling alive. It's about being so invested in what you're doing that even on the tough days, you wouldn't trade it for anything. It's about waking up with a sense of purpose even when the road ahead feels uncertain. But why is it so hard to get to that place? Why does passion feel so out of reach for so many of us? The answer is simple, but it's also uncomfortable. We've been conditioned to believe that passion should come with no effort. We want the reward without the work. We want to be inspired without having to get uncomfortable. But the truth is, passion is born in discomfort. It's born in the moments when you push yourself to try new things, to step outside your comfort zone, to fail and to try again. Passion doesn't thrive in safety. It grows in the unknown. And that's where many of us get stuck. We're afraid to take the leap. We're afraid to fail. We're afraid to admit that we don't know what we're doing. We're afraid to start something new because deep down we're terrified of getting it wrong. But here's the thing. You're never going to get it right if you don't start. The biggest reason finding your passion feels so hard is that we're waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect feeling to guide us. But perfection is a lie. It's a barrier we put up to protect ourselves from the reality that growth is messy, that finding your passion will require you to get a little dirty, that you might stumble and fall before you finally find your footing. But that's the beauty of it. That's where the magic happens, in the messiness, in the moments where you're not sure if you're doing it right, but you keep going anyway. And yes, sometimes passion leads us astray. We chase after things that look good on paper but don't actually fill us up inside. We pursue careers or hobbies because we think they'll impress others or because they align with what we've been told we should care about. But passion isn't about what looks good to the outside world. It's about what feels good to you. It's about what makes your heart race, what makes you lose track of time, what makes you feel like you're exactly where you're supposed to be, even if no one else understands it. The problem is that we often ignore what truly drives us because we're too focused on what we think we should be passionate about. We chase after ideas or dreams that aren't really ours. We let other people's expectations shape our lives instead of listening to our own inner voice. And when we do that, it's no wonder we feel disconnected. It's no wonder passion feels so hard to find when we're not even looking in the right places. But here's the good news. It's never too late to change direction. It's never too late to take a step back, to reevaluate, and to start exploring what truly makes you come alive. And that doesn't mean you have to drop everything and make a drastic change overnight. Sometimes finding your passion means starting small. It means giving yourself permission to try new things without the pressure of having everything figured out. It means being curious, being open, and being willing to fail. Because failure is part of the process. It's not something to be feared, it's something to embrace. Every time you try and fail, you learn something new about yourself. You get closer to understanding what you're really passionate about. You start to build a life that's aligned with who you truly are, not who you think you're supposed to be. So yes, finding your passion is hard, but it's not impossible. It's not out of reach. It's something you can start working on today, right now. It's something that grows over time as you take action, as you explore, as you allow yourself the space to make mistakes and learn from them. And the more you do that, the more you'll start to see that passion isn't a destination. It's a journey that's worth every step, every stumble, and every bit of effort. So, what are you waiting for? Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for everything to feel right before you take that first step. Your passion is out there, but it's not going to find you. You have to go out and create it. And trust me, once you do, you'll wonder why you ever waited so long to begin. So, we've talked about how hard it is to find your passion and why it's not something that just falls into place overnight. But what happens when you're doing all the right things? When you've built a life that looks great on paper, yet inside you feel lost, disconnected, or like something's missing? Let's dive into that. Inner struggles and emptiness. It's a feeling many of us know well. On the outside, everything seems fine. Good job, stable income, decent relationships, and a routine most people would envy. Yet, somewhere along the way, you start to feel like you're just going through the motions. There's a quiet voice that whispers, "Is this it? Is this all there is?" Despite checking off all the boxes, something still feels missing. You start to wonder why none of it feels quite right. It can be hard to admit, especially when everything seems good on paper. But the truth is, success doesn't always equal fulfillment. Sometimes, The path you're on just doesn't align with who you really are, and that's okay. The real struggle comes when you realize that the life you've built doesn't fully excite you. It feels like a gap exists between what you do and what truly brings you joy. That tension comes from trying to meet expectations, whether from society, family, or even your younger self. Over time, you realize that those expectations don't fuel your happiness. Instead, they leave you mentally drained, as though you're constantly fighting against yourself. But here's the thing. That feeling of disconnect isn't a failure. It's a signal, a wake-up call to realign your life with what truly matters to you. Fulfillment doesn't come from meeting others' expectations. It comes from living in a way that feels true to who you are. Don't let that feeling of unease pull you down. See it as an opportunity to ask yourself some tough questions. What do I really want? What truly excites me? These questions may not have immediate answers, but they're the first step toward meaningful change. Finding what makes you feel alive requires courage, a willingness to step out of your comfort zone, and a readiness to explore new things. Yes, it's scary, but it's also necessary. That disconnect is guiding you towards something more fulfilling. It's a reminder that you deserve a life that feels rich and meaningful. So, when things don't feel right, don't ignore it. Take a step back, reassess what truly matters, and don't be afraid to make changes. Even small shifts can make a big difference in how connected you feel to your life. You don't need all the answers right now. What matters is that you're asking the right questions. So, we've talked about how hard it is to find your passion and why it's not something that just falls into place overnight. But what happens when you're doing all the right things? When you've built a life that looks great on paper, yet inside, you feel lost, disconnected, or like something's missing? Let's dive into that. Have you ever wondered why you still can't find your passion, even after trying everything? You've checked all the boxes: successful career, steady paycheck, stable relationships, but deep down, something feels missing. You're left asking yourself, is this all there is? Let me share a story that might sound familiar. A few years ago, I was in what most would call an ideal situation. My career was thriving, I had financial stability, and from the outside, everything seemed perfect. But inside, I felt hollow. Every morning, I'd wake up dreading the day ahead, even though nothing was technically wrong. I'd achieved what society said I should, yet I felt disconnected from my own life. I kept asking, is this really it? Minus that emptiness wasn't failure, it was a sign. It was my inner self telling me that the life I was living wasn't aligned with what truly mattered to me. I had success, but it wasn't bringing me fulfillment. And that's a struggle many of us face. We follow the path to success, but forget to ask if it's the right path for us. You see, passion isn't something you find overnight, and it's not something that comes easy. It's built through experiences, exploration, and discomfort. We get stuck because we're chasing what we think we should want, not what actually lights us up inside. So what can you do? Start small. Take time to reconnect with the things that make you feel alive. Explore new hobbies, revisit old ones, and don't be afraid to fail. Passion doesn't have to be tied to your job or career. It can be anything that fills your soul with purpose. You don't have to make drastic changes overnight. But by taking those first steps, that feeling of emptiness will start to fade, replaced by a deeper sense of fulfillment. Life isn't just about looking good on the outside, it's about feeling good from the inside out. So, listen to that inner voice telling you it's time to make a change. Lean into the discomfort and start the journey to rediscovering what truly matters to you. Passion is out there waiting for you, but it's up to you to go and find it. Common misconceptions about passion. Let's take a moment to talk about something we've all experienced at some point. The idea that finding your passion will make everything easier, that once you've discovered that thing, life will fall into place and all the obstacles will melt away. Sounds ideal, right? But if you've ever thought this, you probably know by now that it's just not the case. One of the biggest misconceptions about passion is that it's supposed to make life effortless. You imagine waking up every day driven by this burning excitement, ready to conquer anything that comes your way. But the reality, even when you're deeply passionate about something, there will be days when it feels like an uphill battle. You'll face doubt, frustration, and exhaustion. And here's the truth. It's okay to feel that way. Passion doesn't eliminate challenges, it just gives you a reason to push through them. Think about it. We often assume that if we've truly found our passion, we should be gliding through life, happy and motivated every second. But what happens when the excitement fades? When the thrill wears off, or when you suddenly find yourself wondering, why do I feel like this isn't enough anymore? That's when doubt creeps in, and you start to question if you ever really found your passion in the first place. It's a tough place to be, but it's also completely normal. Losing interest in something you were once passionate about doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you never had passion in the first place. Passion is fluid. It ebbs and flows just like everything else in life. Sometimes what ignites that spark inside you changes, and that's a part of growth. Maybe you've been doing something for so long that it's become routine, or maybe your interests have evolved. The important thing to remember is that passion isn't a one-time discovery. It's something you continuously nurture. There's also a deeper layer to this. Sometimes losing interest in your passion can be a sign of something more significant, like burnout or even depression. It's crucial to pay attention to those feelings and not just push them aside. If you're struggling to reignite that passion, it might be time to take a step back and assess where your energy is going. Are you truly pursuing something that aligns with your core values, or are you forcing yourself down a path that no longer fits who you are? Here's another misconception that holds many of us back: the belief that you need to find passion before you start doing something. We get stuck in this loop, waiting for some grand revelation to hit us before we take action. But here's the truth. You don't find passion by waiting. Passion doesn't just show up at your door one day, neatly packaged and ready for you to embrace. Passion is something that develops as you take action. It grows from the experiences you dive into, from the moments when you push yourself beyond your comfort zone and explore uncharted territories. When I reflect on the times I felt truly connected to what I was doing, it wasn't because I had figured it all out from the beginning. It was because I took the leap, even when I wasn't sure. I learned that passion isn't something you have to fully understand before you start. It's something you build along the way. As you gain skills, confidence, and experience, your passion starts to take shape. It's through trial and error, through the highs and lows, that you begin to understand what truly drives you. And that's the beauty of passion. It's not fixed. It evolves as you evolve. The things that excited you 5 years ago might not light you up anymore, and that's okay. You're not static, and neither is your passion. The key is to stay curious and open, to keep exploring, and to allow yourself the freedom to pivot when something no longer aligns with who you are. So if you're sitting there, waiting for passion to come and find you, I'm here to tell you that it doesn't work that way. You have to go out there and start doing. You don't need to have everything figured out right now. Start small. Try different things. Give yourself permission to fail, to change direction, to grow. The journey of discovering passion is just that, a journey. And the best part? It's one you can begin at any moment, starting right now. As you move forward, don't be afraid to ask yourself the hard questions. Am I doing this because it's what I'm passionate about, or because it's what I think I should be doing? Is this path still serving me, or is it time to explore something new? These are the kinds of questions that will guide you toward your true passion, the kind that doesn't just make life look good on paper, but makes you feel alive, engaged, and purposeful every day. In the end, passion isn't about having an easy life. It's about having a life that feels meaningful even when it's hard. So go out there, start doing, and let passion build itself along the way. Developing self-awareness and discovering yourself. Finding your passion isn't about stumbling upon it one day. It's about deeply understanding yourself. Passion doesn't magically appear. You create it by getting to know yourself on a deeper level. Start by asking the hard questions. What do you naturally enjoy? What activities make you feel alive? Go deeper. What are your core values? What truly matters to you? One of the best ways to gain clarity is through journaling. Reflecting on your thoughts helps reveal patterns. What energizes you and what drains you? You might think you don't have time for this, but the truth is, living a life disconnected from your passion isn't truly living. Even 10 minutes a day can make a difference. Passion isn't always tied to your career. It's about what makes you feel alive, even in the smallest moments. Start by incorporating more of what excites you into your daily routine. Take small steps, whether it's picking up an old hobby or trying something new. Passion grows through action, not by waiting for the perfect moment. Don't wait. Start today. Take that first step, explore, and see where it leads. Your passion is waiting for you to find it, and once you do, you'll wonder why you didn't start sooner. Taking real action and building habits. Once you've started understanding yourself on a deeper level, the next critical step is this. Stop overthinking and start taking real action. You see, overthinking is often what stops people from finding their passion. It's so easy to get stuck in your head, analyzing every option, every potential path, waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect passion to reveal itself. But let me tell you, you can't think your way into passion. Passion comes from experience, from doing. And here's the thing, you don't need to make a dramatic life change right off the bat. You don't have to quit your job tomorrow or overhaul your entire routine. Start small. Pick one thing, just one thing, that excites you or piques your curiosity, and give it a try. Maybe it's something you used to enjoy but have lost touch with, or maybe it's a completely new interest. It could be as simple as taking a class, joining a local group, or picking up a hobby like photography, painting, or even cooking. What you're looking for in those small steps isn't a lightning bolt of passion right away. What you're after are those tiny flashes of joy, the moments when something clicks and you think, this feels good, this feels right. These moments are like breadcrumbs, guiding you closer to your true passion. The more you follow those moments, the clearer your path will become. As you start experimenting with different activities, the real challenge comes in building habits around them. Passion doesn't just live in those fleeting moments of joy. It grows through consistency. It's not enough to find something you love doing. You need to build a life that supports and nurtures that passion, and that comes down to habits. Let's say you discover you're passionate about writing. That passion won't flourish unless you develop the discipline to write regularly, even on the days when inspiration seems far away. Or maybe you found a love for fitness. Great, but that passion won't turn into a lifestyle unless you create a routine that keeps you moving even when you're tired or unmotivated. Consistency is the fuel that keeps passion alive, and habits are the foundation of that consistency. Now here's a truth that often gets overlooked. Failure is going to happen. A lot. You won't get it right every time. In fact, there will be many times when you feel like you've fallen flat on your face. But failure doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It means you're learning. It means you're growing. And most importantly, it means you're moving forward. So embrace the stumbles. Lean into the missteps. They're all part of the journey. Passion isn't a destination you reach without struggle. It's something you discover through trial, error, and persistence. And the more you're willing to put yourself out there to try, to fail, and to try again, the closer you'll get to building a life that's truly aligned with your passion. Discovering passion. Through experimentation. Passion isn't something that strikes you like lightning. It's a process of discovery. The idea that passion will just hit you often holds people back. The truth is, passion is built over time through trying new things, making mistakes, and uncovering what truly excites you. Think about it. How can you know what you love if you've never explored? Passion doesn't grow in comfort. It's found in the moments when you step outside your routine, take risks, and allow yourself to feel those sparks of joy and curiosity. The key is not expecting instant passion, but enjoying the journey. Each small experiment, whether learning a new skill, starting a hobby, or just taking a chance, opens doors to new possibilities. Even if something doesn't end up being your forever passion, it's never a waste of time. It's all part of the path that leads you closer to who you truly are. One of the biggest roadblocks is waiting for perfection. We often delay, thinking we need the perfect moment to start, but that moment rarely exists. Passion is messy. It's full of uncertainties and failures, and that's okay. What matters is not perfection, but progress. So stop holding yourself back. Embrace the imperfections. Understand that passion is built through action. Don't wait for everything to fall into place. Keep moving, keep learning, and let your passion evolve as you do. Sometimes you're already on the right path. You just haven't realized it yet. Take a moment to reflect. Maybe passion has been with you all along, hiding in the things you've already done but never noticed. Now it's time to make a commitment. If you want to discover your passion, pick a goal, any goal, and pursue it. Your goal may shift, but the act of committing is what keeps the passion alive, even through tough times. Don't wait for passion to find you. Take action today. Try new things, embrace the unknown, and let passion unfold naturally as you explore your journey. Make a commitment, take that first step, and with each one, your passion will become clearer, stronger, and more undeniable. Thank you for taking the time to explore this journey with me. Remember, finding your passion is a process, and every step you take brings you closer to it. Stay curious, stay committed, and don't be afraid to try new things. I can't wait to hear about your progress, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, take care and keep moving forward.